Yo, so let's just jump right in the mix of all this. So, exhaust is on. Told you about my cheap shocks I was gonna put on there. Well, those are there. And have I got a sweet deal for you guys? Custom drag shocks for your ride. I will let these go for a ridiculous price today only. Let me show you how amazing these shocks are. If you get them for your ride, there's no telling how awesome or how fast your car is going to go. So, I just want you to see this. This is awesome. Hold on, sorry. Like if you just want, this is right here. This is your ride. If you want to slam it to the ground and just ride in the weeds with all the other homies, look at this. No problem. You're stuck there. You're in the weeds forever. And you're going to handle awesome. So I'm going to store these for you until you decide to come get them. So do not miss out on this opportunity. Anyways, I'm going to work on some wiring. I got this terminal block right here. This is what I'm going to run all my my feeds to. So my battery will go is right here, obviously. I'll have a post. I'll have a cable from my battery to the first post. I got 4 posts on here. Then I'll have a power cord going from a post to the starter, a power cord going from a post to the alternator, and a power cord going into the car for the fuse block inside the car. So I was looking for places to mount this. I was hoping to be able to squeeze it over here somewhere, but that is not going to work because of the battery. So this is kind of crazy. I don't want to I don't like that either. I'm going to mount this underneath the battery tray like this. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to spend some time making a bunch of cables with 4-gauge wire. It should be fun, but necessary. And that is how I'm going to do all my terminals. I will do the little hammer press to get it on there somewhat tight, and then I'll go ahead and backfill it with some solder. And then I'll double heat shrink the ends, and that should be good. So I'm going to start getting these to the lengths and start routing them, and then I'll show you when I'm to a point where I feel like I can show you. Okay guys, here's what I came out for with the mounting of the fuse block terminal right there underneath the battery tray. So I got it bolted through the tray, Then I lopped off the heads of the bolts so they don't sit higher than this lip that the battery sits on. And then it mounts just like this with the 2 bolts, and those will be the power terminals. Say hi, Caleb. So let me show you this. Always a treat. Caleb, come hold this for a second. So this is my alternator wire, really long, and this is the battery cable. And I'll be able to get rid of these ones that are already here because I'm not using these terminal posts anymore, or this one. So I'm gonna have to make a couple grounds as well. But so there's the terminal block, and it'll sit just like this. Bring that in here real close. So the terminal block is right under there. So the battery cables and the alternator cables will come in down here like this underneath the battery tray, and it should be nice and clean and kind of hidden. So that's what I'm working on. I'm going to bolt this tray in and then get these 2 cables that I have done so far, cut to length, put the battery in there, do the battery cable, and knock out all these big connections.
Next is turbo.
No. Next is spider webs. Okay, it's been a while. I've been working on this non-stop. These cables take a lot of tedious time, but let me show you what I got done. Here is the big fat alternator wire. It goes down. It wraps with the cooler lines. And then follows up and then comes underneath to this block. Starter goes back underneath. It's double wrapped and it goes to the block as well. This wire is coming off one of the terminal blocks, and this will attach to the battery right here, and this will be the main power that feeds the block. So this feeds the block on one post goes to the starter, the 3rd post goes to the alternator, and the 4th post will go this way into the fender, and that will be for the fuse block on the computer. So that's what I love to do. I am going, this is just sitting here right now so I can measure this. I'm not going to hook it up right now, but now I can take out these battery cables and it'll be super clean. So let me just keep on going. I just want to give you an update. And then once I get all those terminals plugged underneath, there is a cap over here, just a kind of little protective cap that'll go over the terminals. So this will go over those underneath. Just a little extra protection for when it's done. Okay, the major cables are done. I got the other ones like I showed you before, and I got the battery negative cable done right here. So I even did a split to the fender like it was factory. This will connect right about here. It goes down and it is connected to the block right there. So that is the exact amount of grounds that were on the original motor, plus the original motor has its own grounds. And battery tray is bolted back in, and the office is playing way too loud. So now I just got to run the wires for the computer and the fans. So check out this little deal I made. So this is the panel for the fuse block, little indicator panel. I made a new one. Sorry. Right there. So I'm going to fit this inside there to match what we did in the car. Would you look at that? Would you just look at it? Beautiful details. Okay guys, I got the wires run from the fuse block to here. I found a hole that was already in the firewall that was just capped with a rubber plug, so I took that out. I had bought an assortment of rubber grommets off Amazon, and so I used like this size, and then I just barely had to step up the hole just a teeny bit, and then that's where those 3 wires go. So this will be tucked up and out of the way, but for now it's just going to hang right there. And then what I did out here was I undid the bolts for the inner wheel well, and I shoved the light in there so I could see that hole. I didn't know it was actually going to be so close right there. I probably could have got away without doing this, but it's fine. So what I'm going to do is I have to extend all these wires. The power wire is probably about, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches too short. So I got to extend this, but I don't have this thick a gauge. This is definitely bigger than 10 gauge. I'm thinking it's probably either, I think it's like 8. So I'm gonna try and get a section of that to splice in there. I want it to have equal gauge wiring. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and use 10 gauge for the 2 fan wires. And I'm gonna use probably 10 gauge for the heater wire. And I'm gonna run those wires and get them finished up. So basically, there's really no reason to show you all that. I will give you a rundown of what I did and kind of show you this weekend when I go to start it. Well, before I do that, I'll kind of show you how I wrap this up. But that's basically how I'm routing it, and that will wrap up the main wiring. And then, like I said, if it runs and it doesn't have issues, then this will all get buttoned up. But for now, everything is just about all hooked up and ready to go. So I'm going to conclude this video right here, and I'll bring it back with the next one, which should be attempting to start if I can get everything powered up like